5 days, more than 4,000 kilometers, from Croatia, across Europe, road after road, mile after mile, until finally, a view so extraordinary, it stole the breath from us all. The Lofoten Islands are located in northern Norway, above the Arctic Circle, between the Norwegian Sea and the Barents Sea. This archipelago stretches for roughly 150 kilometers, consisting of several larger islands: Austvågøya, Vestvågøya, Flakstadøya, and Moskenesøya, along with dozens of smaller islands, skerries, and uninhabited rock formations. Seen from a distance, Lofoten looks like a continuous mountain ridge rising sharply from the ocean. But despite its dramatic appearance, this landscape is far older than it seems. The rocks that shape Lofoten formed nearly 3 billion years ago during the Precambrian era. This makes them among the oldest geological formations in Europe. They are mostly granite and gneiss, rocks that were once buried deep within Earth's crust and reshaped by intense heat, pressure, and tectonic movement. Over time, continents collided and drifted apart, and the bedrock of Lofoten traveled with them. The archipelago we see today is not the product of a single moment, but of long and complex geological history. The steep mountains and deep fjords that characterize the islands were shaped much more recently during the last ice age. Massive glaciers, in some areas over a kilometer thick, slowly carved the landscape, grinding rock and creating deep valleys. When the ice began to retreat around 10,000 to 12,000 years ago, rising seawater filled these valleys, forming the fjords. This is why the coastline here is irregular and jagged, with sharp peaks rising immediately from the sea. Even today, the landscape continues to change due to erosion, wind, and constant wave activity. Weather in Lofoten changes quickly due to exposure to the open sea and steep mountain terrain. Calm conditions can shift to wind, rain, or fog within minutes. Seasons are strongly defined. Summer brings the midnight sun and long hours of daylight, while winter brings polar night, limited daylight, and frequent storms. Despite being above the Arctic Circle, temperatures remain relatively mild year-round, thanks to the Gulf Stream. Most villages are small and built between steep mountains and the coastline, following the natural shape of the terrain rather than altering it. One of the most distinctive architectural elements in Lofoten are the råbur, the traditional fishermen's cabins. Many of them are constructed partly on wooden stilts above the water, allowing boats to dock directly beneath the cabin platform. Across the islands, large wooden drying racks called yell are a common sight. They are used to dry cod naturally in open Arctic air, a method practiced here for nearly 1,000 years. This process produces stockfish, one of Norway's oldest and most important export products. For centuries, fishing, especially the seasonal winter migration of Atlantic cod, was the main source of income. Henningsvær is one of the most well-known fishing villages in the Lofoten archipelago, built across several small islands connected by bridges. Today, the village has a population of around 500 residents and has historically been an important center for Atlantic cod fishing. Its architecture features traditional wooden houses and rawbua cabins positioned along the shoreline. Fishing remains important, but tourism has grown significantly, and Henningsvær is now also recognized for its open-air hod drying racks and its unique football field perched on a rocky edge surrounded by the sea. Sunsets here are unusually long because the sun travels low across the horizon before disappearing. In late summer and early autumn, this creates extended periods of soft, warm light that highlight the coastline, mountains, and sea with strong contrast. These conditions attract photographers and filmmakers due to the stable, cinematic quality of the light. The hike to Ryton begins in the lower valley, where the trail gradually ascends through open grasslands and rocky terrain. The route is well marked and accessible, but conditions can vary depending on weather, wind, and visibility. Along the way, the landscape opens up, revealing small lakes, mountain ridges, and sweeping views of the surrounding peaks. At the summit, Ryton stands at approximately 543 meters above sea level, offering one of the most iconic viewpoints in the Lofoten archipelago. From here, the panoramic view stretches across the mountains, ocean, and the famous Kvalvika beach. With a heavy heart, we leave this archipelago behind. These mountains, these silent fjords, they stay with us. But the road calls once more further north, to the last point of Europe, to Nordkapp.